Hey guys, as you can see, I got my new logo piece hanging on the wall here. So I'm happy about that. I really like the way that turned out. My anniversary is coming up, and I want to make something for my wife. I've made her a lot of these horseshoe flowers. I want to make something a little more special for her. What I'm going to attempt to do this year is to make her a flower. I want to make her a rose. I want to try and make it out of copper. I'm a little nervous. This is a lot more artistic than I've ever done before. So I was looking at some other how-to videos on YouTube, and I found a couple that show how to do it with copper pipe. So I'm going to attempt it. I've got some copper pipe here. It's 1-inch copper pipe, just a little 2-foot section. There's an Instructable that one of the YouTube videos links to that shows how to do it with copper sheeting. And one of the things, the reason he linked to it is because they have some templates that you can print out for how to lay out the petals, what shape to cut out. Unfortunately, my printer doesn't want to work. It's out of ink, as usual. So I brought them up on screen and traced them out. Gonna need some heat, so I have to anneal the copper pipe because it's been work hardened. Oh, and don't take this as a how-to. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just trying to follow instructions I found. So if I remember to, I will link the videos and the Instructable that show how to do this properly down below. So if you want instructions, go see those. If you want to see me fumble around and probably screw this up, keep watching. Just using this paper wrap to make sure I mark cuts that are square. Of course, with my typical level of skill, it in no way ensures that my cuts will be square, but it at least gives me a shot. Okay, so hopefully that should have taken care of annealing. Now I just gotta open all these up. That's what I'll end up with, and I'll cut that out. First I gotta go and finish all the rest of these. I'm gonna get myself comfortable here. Well, you know, it actually puts me in frame too. I love that thing. One thing to remember is these are going to be more difficult to cut because it's thicker. It's going to be more difficult to cut. It's going to be more difficult to bend. Every bit of this is going to be a little more, it's going to be a little harder to do because this is thicker than the copper the Instructable calls for. So for these, with the cutters I have anyway, it seems the best way is to cut the in and then cut out the rest of the petal, because otherwise you end up leaving a scar on it like I did there. Look, it's a boat propeller. I sure hope this turns out good, or I'm wasting a lot of time here. Oh, this thick pipe copper starts to get really difficult to deal with when you're trying to cut really small radius corners like this. Okay, so at this point I'm using this file to just kind of deburr and round some of the edges a little bit. Alright, I don't know if you can see that. This is just one. Holy shit. End up with something like that. Now I need a center. Got all my petals made, my sepal made. I need a stem. Need to decide what I'm going to do for a stem. Now it's time to put all these on my stem. So confession time, I kind of screwed up. I meant to anneal these again after the hammering because they've been bent around several times. They're probably work hardened between the bending for cutting and the hammering. But I forgot, and now they're on there. So at this point, I'm committed. They're not coming back off. They're pressed on there really well. So now I just gotta solder them in place and do do the best I can. Hope it turns out okay. Now I have to try the actual process of folding these suckers. Heh, it's already broken loose. Alright, well that's it for today. Well, I had the camera set up here, I had it zoomed in and everything, but I forgot to even turn it on while I was bending the pedals today. And let's just say it wasn't easy. They kept breaking loose from the shaft, the stem. What I finally ended up doing was I just went ahead and bent them with them loose and playing, and then I took a center punch and I tapped them down through the center till they were taut again, and I put some 5-minute epoxy in the top to secure them in place. The beating on it though did bend the stem a little bit, but I actually kind of like that. It gives it a little bit of a more natural feel, being slightly off kilter. I polished, after heating it up to anneal it, I repolished the fully exposed parts. There's still tarnish in amongst the petals, and there's some discoloration and tarnish here. Once the epoxy finishes setting up, I'm going to polish just the curved down tip parts, I think, and then I will leave the other because I kind of like the way that looks, and then this whole thing will it'll get some clear coat on it. So the polished parts will stay polished, and the steel parts won't rust that way. The trick is going to be figuring out how to paint it since it's raining out today. And yes, that was thunder you just heard.
That's it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment if you want to see my projects as they happen more quickly. Just follow me on Instagram or Facebook. I post pictures of what I've been working on. Thanks.